The fatal conceit of Obamacare is that we're just going to make everybody buy our health insurance at the federal government level. Young and healthy people are going to go into the market and pay for the older, sicker people. So the young, healthy person is going to be made to buy health care, and they're going to pay for the person, who gets breast cancer in her 40s or who gets heart disease in his 50s. The whole idea of Obamacare is the people on the blue side pay for the people on the red side. The people who are healthy pay for the people who are sick. It's not working.
What up? You ever feel like you're talking to a political party or an entity that's talking out of both sides of his mouth? Like a brother with two heads? That's what we have.
We got to figure out what to do now on health care. Our opponent said, oh, just repeal it all, the market will take care of it. That didn't work out very well for us, did it? We wound up with the most expensive system in the world, and we insured the smallest percentage of people. On the other hand, the current system works fine if you're eligible for Medicaid, if you're a lower income working person, if you're already on Medicare, or if you get enough subsidies on a modest income that you can afford your health care. But the people that are getting killed in this deal are small business people and individuals who make just a little too much to get any of these subsidies. Why? Because they're not organized, they don't have any bargaining power with insurance companies, and they're getting whacked. So you've got this crazy system where all of a sudden 25 million more people have health care, and then the people are out there busting it sometimes 60 hours a week, wind up with their premiums doubled and their coverage cut in half. It's the craziest thing in the world. So here's the simplest thing. You raise your hand, so you think about it. Here's the simplest thing. Figure out an affordable rate and let people use that, something that won't undermine your quality of life, won't interfere with your ability to make expenses, won't interfere with your ability to save money for your kids' college education, and let people buy in to Medicare or Medicaid.
First off, let me say, I ain't got nothing against Paul Ryan. I'm not picking on him or nobody else. But what I am saying is that there is a difference between career politicians and the rest of us. If you know your history, the first politicians were doctors. They were just people in the community. That's who you had to pick from. There was no such thing as a person who served in politics year in, year out without any chance of being outed or fired or let go. So, Republicans have no moral ground over Democrats when it comes to some of the mess that we're in. And whether you agree with Obamacare or not, because the Democrats have criticized it, Republicans have criticized it, but we know what it is. But not all Republicans, like I say, can hold some moral ground. And you think that if it's all about what's good for the nation, good for the people, then they would just go with it, with what's right. And if it's about who the people want it, they would just go with it. But you see how they just know to bob and weave for the needs of the politics. That's why it's ineffective. They're responsible for the mess we're in, just like the Dems are. And many, many times I had thought about just not being a part of any party, but I don't think that's necessarily good, because that just breaks up the team. The Democrats never do that. Even when Bernie Sanders was obviously shafted by Hillary Clinton and their administration, it was the politics that their party chose Hillary. You're going to get it. Bernie, you don't have a chance, but we'll let you do the show. Democrats didn't bail. And that's why I'm reluctant to just bail every time Republicans do something I disagree with.
They're trying to do a smooth move, except they suck, and they suck at messaging, so they're caught. They just don't want to repeal Obamacare, because I'm going to tell you guys something, and we need to realize this. There are Republicans in Washington, D.C. who like it. They like it. They lied to us about what the bill was. They lied to us about what it would do. They lied to us about the effect that it would have. I don't know about y'all, but I was in the street before Obama was elected, mad about George W. Bush and Medicare Part D and our Medicaid Part D. I was mad about all of that. I was mad about No Child Left Behind. I was mad about the Patriot Act. I was mad about the big spending. And then the election of somebody who wants everybody to pay for everybody else's health care while we're pinching pennies, that just pushed me over the line. They're trying to use they're trying to wrap a rhino bill into conservative talking points. And they're lying to us, and they're lying to us also about the legislative process. People like Paul Ryan and Sean Duffy right now, and some of these folks out there, are trying to act like you're too stupid to understand how your government works. They're trying to act like you're too stupid to understand reconciliation. So they're just like, well, we can only do so many things through reconciliation. I mean, we only have so many things. We got to do what the Senate parliamentarian says. I mean, we just have to. That's just what I mean. That's just what we have to do. First off, let me just lay this out again. These regulations, they removed the spending controls, and the actual Obamacare regulations are still in place. So now, the way that we're paying a penalty to insurance companies if we don't buy their product. So they get our money either way. We are forced consumers. They will own the death spiral of Obamacare. They will own it. They're trying to transfer ownership of this over to Trump. Now, let me get back to this point where they keep trying to talk about this parliamentary stuff. Because they say, well, we can't repeal, we can't repeal the prices. We can't repeal some of this stuff, the regulations, because, the parliamentarian came. The parliamentarian's not going to allow that. And we got to do what the parliamentarian does. So they're not going to repeal Obamacare because of the Senate parliamentarian? Really? Because that sounds like a bunch of crap. Because it is. I'm going to explain. Yes?
How many seats did we win by being conservative and sticking to principles?
Yeah.
Why are we watering that down right now?
Yeah. Well, this whole idea, and there are a bunch of really good websites that get into this. I know Heritage does it, Daily Wire did it, Conservative Review did it. The parliamentarian thing is a lie. It's a lie. This whole idea that they can only repeal regulations through reconciliation. And that's false, because they can always overrule the parliamentarian. They're trying to destroy healthcare further and ruin the Republican Party forever because they're blaming it on the parliamentarian. That's what they're doing. They're acting as though the Senate parliamentarian is King Blank of Blank Mountain. That's what they're doing. They're trying to act like the Senate parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, is the only person who's going to allow them to not just repeal the ridiculous regulations, but also repeal the ridiculous taxes. Because their argument, and CR wrote about this, because it's budgetary in nature, but not the price hike in insurance regulations. So in the congressional Republicans' minds, GOP leadership's mind, it's case closed, because there's no way to repeal the component of Obamacare that is qualitatively represents 80% of the problems. So you should immedially be freaking out about this and calling them out on this lie, because the parliamentarian, first off, is not accountable to the voters. This is an unelected individual. You want to talk this is an unelected individual. And yes, as CR has a great piece on this, you want to respect the Senate tradition as much as possible, and you want to be judicious when you're overruling a parliamentarian, but we're not talking about obscure areas of policy here. You're talking about a huge section of your economy. You're talking about the health and care and future of America and Americans. And this is completely unsustainable. So they want you to just stick with this absolute swamp monster and total insolvency of healthcare because of a poor interpretation of Senate rules. They did not swear an oath to the Senate parliamentarian. They swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States.
Remember, it doesn't matter whether Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, progressive, libertarian. Don't be given to anybody any power, any church, any president, so much that you can't see when they're wrong.
We must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.